Today I want to talk about Reggie Grimes and Alfred Collins and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about Alfred Collins and Reggie Grimes, right? Alfred Collins is a quite remarkable five-star defensive end that both Oklahoma and Texas have been heavily recruiting over the past 6 weeks. He even seemed like a Baylor lean for a little bit until Matt Rule took the head coach job at Carolina Panthers. And then it became OU in Texas, right? As Dave Aranda's still kind of trying to figure out how to make this Baylor recruiting thing work and sing for him with what I think is an outstanding staff that includes Larry Fedora as the offensive coordinator, Jorge Munoz as the wide receivers coach, and on, right? Keeping Joey McGuire on staff was also huge for them. But as regards Alfred Collins, we're talking about Chris Ash versus basically Alex Grinch and Lincoln Riley. And I believe that one, Alfred Collins is always going to be a Texas lean because he is a Texas legacy, his mother having gone to school there. He's also playing football in Bastrop where he's going to sign his national letter of intent at 4 o'clock on National Signing Day. And he's really the only question mark left for Oklahoma, and I'll get to that in a second as it relates to Grimes. But in talking about what Texas has been able to do with the staff change, I think what really hurt Oklahoma is, one, you don't know who the outside linebackers coach is going to be. Don't know if he's going to play some outside linebacker, although I don't expect that he would. Being 6'5", 280 pounds, he seemed like a fit at defensive tackle, let alone defensive end. So that was going to get solved with Calvin Thibodeau basically running lead on this for the foreseeable future. So I always thought that that was kind of a thing, but you wanted to know what the staff was going to be, and you want to know how you're going to be used, and I would like to think that that was being hammered home as you're trying to recruit him heavily through November and into what is the signing day. We call the December period the early signing period. This is National Signing Day, right? Now, with Chris Ash coming on board and bringing in basically an entirely new defensive staff, Tom Herman was able to continue to just hammer home what Alfred Collins would be able to do at Texas. Now, the argument to be made here is the one that you know. Oklahoma has won the Big 12 championship 5 consecutive times, looking to win it for a 6th straight time this year, has made 3 straight college football playoffs and 4 out of 5, right? We know Texas hasn't done any of those things. As a matter of fact, the argument is Texas hasn't developed the talent that it has had over the last few years in a way that would lead any recruit to believe that you can get them to the NFL. As a matter of fact, Garrett Wilson famously said, I didn't want to go to Texas because I wanted to be developed into the kind of player that could make it into the NFL as a wide receiver, goes up to Ohio State, plays on what is one of the best college football teams of all time, don't care that they lost to Clemson in the Fiesta Bowl, and showed out as a true freshman and was at the end of an iconic moment for Justin Fields, who came back out of the medical tent with a knee brace on, rolled to his left, planted, and threw to Garrett Wilson in the back of the end zone in the game against Michigan. Now, getting back to Texas and Oklahoma, you would like to think that bringing in Jamar Cain, you would like to think that bringing in DeMarco Murray would do something for Alfred Collins, would make him believe, one, that the staff is very much going to be intact because it has been, with the exception of Jay Boulware, who flipped from Oklahoma to Texas when that job came open. Everyone that Lincoln Riley has wanted to keep, he has kept, right? But I also wonder how much of Jay Boulware going to Texas affected Alfred Collins' decision, perhaps, to go to Texas or go to Oklahoma, right? How much of that rivalry and losing an assistant to Texas plays in on that, because you don't see that a whole lot. I mean, usually Oklahoma assistants going to Texas, not the other way around, right? Although DKR has the stadium named after him. But my sense here is that Texas is the front runner. I would be surprised at this point if, for whatever reason, he decided to flip. Although flip. Not even flip. Just pick Oklahoma. Because all of the things that I've been hearing, all the things that Brandon Drum has been hearing, lead us to believe that it's done deal with where he wants to go. On the other hand, Oklahoma's not going to get skunked on signing day, as Reggie Grimes is going to sign his national letter of intent to play at the University of Oklahoma on signing day. He came down in October on a visit with his friend and kind of fell in love with the place. He has given the best quotes about earning it, about not taking anything for granted. He is one of the top players in the state of Tennessee. He is a top 150, 247 composite player. He's going to go, goodness me. He has all of the tools to be outstanding in that Jalen Redmond defensive tackle spot, that LaRon Stokes defensive tackle spot. I'm going to be interested to see how much weight he can put on, how he carries that weight, because if he puts on too much too soon, too early, that could really affect his hammies. That could really affect his ability to just go after people in August, September, and October, as opposed to just trying to get peak condition to win a job in preseason camp. Also means that he's not going to be an early enrollee. That's a given. So all the guys that were brought in as early enrollees have a jump on him. But really what we're talking about is, can you help fill the void left by Neville Gallimore, Q Overton, Dylan Famatau, right? Can you do that? Because that's what Perion Winfrey and Josh Ellison were brought in to do. And obviously those two guys are going to be in the lead when it comes to playing time, because they're going to have gone through not just the 15 practices in the spring, but winter conditioning and getting set up for summer conditioning. Whereas all of the other freshmen that are coming in are just going to be that much further behind the 8 ball and much more likely to redshirt. That said, if you have the ability and you have the talent, and you have the work ethic, Alex Grinch has shown he will throw you out there, which makes the Levi Draper thing all the more frustrating. But that's another upload, and I made it a couple of times now. But I wanted to make this to reassure you that Oklahoma is not going to get skunked on signing day, that Reggie Grimes is going to sign his national letter of intent. I have not heard a single thing different. He was down to like Tennessee and Oklahoma, and that was that. Alabama was kind of in the mix, but if you talk to Alabama folks, they're like, didn't really have a spot for him, even as his father played with Jeremy Pruitt, played at Alabama. So that's the good news. That's the bad news. We'll talk about it once again when signing day is complete. Couple of other maybe surprises that could be coming Oklahoma's way, but I don't see it. It would really be just Lincoln Riley pulling a trigger on a kid that he hasn't before, or a kid coming to Lincoln going, I really want to be here. That's what happened with Bryson Washington. They didn't know that he was really going to pick them. They wanted him, but they didn't know he was going to pick them. And then he picked them, and you see what that dude looks like on tape, as you can made that mixtape around early signing period to give you a sense of what the kind of talent is that Oklahoma is bringing in. So I, like you, am going to be very interested in what these early enrollees can do, what the true freshmen can do, as OU tries to make a run at this thing once again in 2020. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.